Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Succeed and Get Money. It's Coco Wade and I'm glad you've joined me today. I want to talk about some really exciting information and some things you might want to know in terms of getting started as an entrepreneur or just elevating your existing business. So we're going to jump right in. The topic that really touches home to many of us entrepreneurs when we're starting out, getting in the game and getting our feet wet is this: how to structure your business and make it a cash cow. There's one thing to structure your business in general, like organizational structure, but then there's a whole other level when it's time to make your business a cash cow. And what I mean by that, there are 8 tips I'm going to give today in this video that will really give you the opportunity to think and make sure that you ponder on what steps you're taking and what you can do to enhance those steps. Okay, so number 1, find your passion. By now, if you found my channel, then you're already interested in becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe you're already along your journey and you wanted some tips in terms of how to enhance that path. One of the things I always say to people, make sure it's something that you love, make sure you're passionate about it. You're probably going to work long hours as an entrepreneur and you don't want it to feel like work. I mean, it will be work, but it shouldn't feel that way. Find something that solves a problem, something that creates a resolution, and something that you know deep down in you have a desire to do. Now, with finding your passion, once you find that, it's going to come very natural. And then you can put these other steps in order and proceed accordingly. The second thing I would say is get organized. This is one of the things that is highly overlooked and something that we don't talk about enough, but it is so critical to the development and the structural organization within your company. If you cannot get organized, whether it's your time management or the task associated with operating your business or the products or the services that you're offering, and making sure you can actually jot them down and position them in a way that you can sell them. That is all a part of getting organized. Whether you're organizing a team, whether you're organizing your desk or your finances, organizing what steps are necessary to get your business legal and legitimate. Anything that you do with your business, from selling to pitching to marketing and advertising, promoting, branding, and getting your executive admin portions handled, you are going to have to be organized. So exercise that, the sooner the better, and you can't do it often enough. Make your checks and balances daily and mark them off and keep it moving. So I definitely suggest to get organized, okay? And then number 3, do some research. It is important that you know what you're doing, that you are able to speak on behalf of your company and your service or your product, your brand, whatever you're putting out there. You want to be really strong and confident about how you convey that message. And when you deliver your product or your service to your clients and customers, you want to make sure that you know what you're giving them. That way they can build trust immediately and they can know that what they have is something of value. And the only way they're going to know that if you know that. And so doing your research is going to help you tremendously. Do your research, guys, and that way you can structure your business well and we'll make it a cash cow. I'm going to keep going. Number 4, education and training. We talked about research. That's one level of getting the knowledge behind the business. But when we talk about training, education, it's basically purchasing what you need to know in terms of the insight, the gems. You have to know that in business, in life, as a whole, nothing comes free. So you want to be willing to go the extra mile. Get some sort of outlet where you can buy information, learn more, get involved with master classes and seminars, attend conferences, get software, train yourself, do whatever you can. Get a mentor. Make sure that you are constantly educating yourself. There are some free certifications that you can get. It makes you stronger in your performance and in your business, your skill set, your resume, your portfolio. It may only cost a little bit. You don't have to overinvest. If you're doing research as it is, and then you add education and training to that on some level, any level, you have to start somewhere, then that would just enhance your in-depth ability to offer out what is something that your clients and customers would want, and you'll be able to give them that, again, very confidently, and be able to convey that in a strong message. So I want to encourage you guys, again, I can't say it enough, get your education and training on what it is that you do, and that way you'll be just that much stronger. Okay, so jumping right into number 5, establish a budget. So listen, you're going to want to have a budget always of some kind. Whether you stick to it or make an effort to stick to it, having a budget is extremely important to growth and as well as seeing a profit. So let's talk about that. When you create a budget, you can start from scratch. You can have anywhere from $100 to $500, $5,000, as much as $500,000. It really depends on you as an individual, where you are at the start of your journey in entrepreneurship. So let's take, for example, you have a budget where you start from $100 to $500. When you establish that budget should include your startup cost, which will more than likely be your legal documentation and the structural portion of your business in your local community or your state level, or even if you're going to do it internationally. It's important that you make sure that in that budget you include what it takes to be a grounded, upstanding business, okay? And those are some fees, and they're not a lot of fees, but those are fees that should definitely be at the top tier level of your budget sheet. And moving further down, you want to make sure that any expenses in terms of running your company, whether it's your hosting site for your website or any sort of software that you have to buy, equipment, and the necessary tools to launch your brand, those are all expenses. There'll be some expenses that are ongoing, maybe your company phone or your mobile device or anything that you may buy on a plan or finance, but ongoing cost is something that will be on your recurring budget. So when you start out, have at least the basics for what you need to get started, and just add on your regular costs to operate, your monthly expenses and that sort of thing. You also want to put any potential income that you'll gain, funds that you'll generate, and you want to make sure that you do some income projections. It'll help you to understand month to month how much money you'll be earning, how much money is profit, and how much you'll have to spend to keep the company going and growing. These are all things important when it comes to making the best decisions, and more importantly, when you want to succeed and get money. By the way, everyone, if you like the content that you're hearing right now on my channel, be sure to subscribe to my channel and comment. Let me know what you think. I love your feedback, and more importantly, I would really like to know if there's any other content that I can develop and make so that we can put it here on the channel for you guys to learn and grow. So make sure, if you are following, continue, subscribe, set your notifications, and we'll keep it coming, you guys. And in the meantime, join our group, Succeed and Get Money, on Facebook, and this is how you'll stay in the know with our growing community as we take this journey to become millionaires together. I definitely want to support you, and you're supporting me by being here, so let's win, all right? And with no further ado, I want to jump into number 6, which is one of my favorites, okay? So create a plan of action. Create a plan of action is my favorite because you're looking at a self-taught publicist. So yes, I started doing PR on a whim, and it was really a spinoff of one of my other companies, but even more so, I needed publicity. I needed the tactics behind public relations, and I was ready to do it. So I jumped right in there. And what it taught me is something very, very valuable. The fact that when you are going to execute your business and launch, you need to have a plan. We know that, but do we make one? Not necessarily. So it's not going to fall in your lap. It's not going to all fall together mysteriously. You're going to have to do some work, and that really is where the plan of action comes into play. So for the plan of action, you want to jot down the things that you want to see happen in order to make them come to fruition. But you do that in a specific template. Like, you'll want to outline things in particular, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of the business, for example. We have a template, and you can get it. I'll leave a link in the description for what I've actually provided. I've developed a PR plan of action concept, and that is specifically for entrepreneurs, businesses, and startups to be able to, at a glance, look at where they're headed for the next quarter, the next year, or 5 years as well. If you know that you're going to be in this for the long haul, you need a plan. And in order to have that plan and execute that plan, you want to have a starting point and look at your business in multiple phases and make sure you set goals, because that is another intricate part to your plan of action: execution and setting goals. That brings me over to number 7. You want to establish deadlines and timelines. So this is where we make ourselves accountable, right? As entrepreneurs, we have to manage our time very well. We have to juggle a lot. We wear multiple hats, but we do it, and we do it. I mean, we do it because it is important. Okay, so take, for example, you have a goal that you want to reach in the middle of the year. So you start out January through June elevating to that point. You should have an idea of where you want to be starting January, where you want to be at the end of that quarter. So in April, what things look like for you, what you want to have accomplished by that time. Because at this point, you're like 90 days in. And then when it gets to the middle of the year, you're at the 180-day mark. But what are you going to do step by step, month to month, to make that happen? And that's a part of setting goals, which really coincides with your plan of action. Holding yourself accountable will make these things achievable. So be sure to establish deadlines and timelines, you guys. That goes hands in hand with the PR plan of action. All right, and lastly, but not least, number 8, execute. Execute, money makers. Succeed and get money. So when it's time to execute, you're going to follow the roadmap that I just gave you. You're going to go step 1 through 8, and you're going to go hard, because this is important. And you're going to go line for line, detail for detail. You're going to get organized. You're going to get focused. You're going to stay motivated. You're going to grind. You're going to believe in yourself, because that is the first effort that you can make when you want to win, is believing in you. I hope this has been great content and insight, knowledge behind the business. As you know, we always say in our slogan, plant the seed and get growing. You guys are ready to succeed and get money. Thanks for watching.